Hello and welcome to Nintendo Voice, your voice for everything Nintendo. This is episode 144, being recorded on the 27th of June, 2018. My name is Lewis Pugh, and joining me to talk all things Nintendo, we have Harrison Milfeld.
Greetings, everyone, from
where are you from?
From my room. From my room. Yes, I feel like I should do my room. My room that's about to be well, to a point where I'm just going to be by myself now. Because so yeah, I'm doing that. But Nintendo, yes, we're back again. I know our weird scheduling is very odd and such, but like I said, we have many things in the real world going on to a point where we're just like things are just not working out right now for our scheduling.
That's true. Yeah, it's been a bit all over the place. So obviously the video side is all up to date. It all goes live. That's all automated, which is nice. So a bit of housekeeping very quickly then. So the audio only version of episode 143 is going up very shortly after this episode. Obviously there'll be an order on the audio only. Don't fret. That one should come very soon after too. So we'll be back up to speed. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for joining us once again. We are here to talk some Nintendo, and we're going to have a bit of shorter show as well today.
Very short.
Very short, in fact. We have two features though, two segments. We've got some what we've been playing, including some new games and some Nintendo news. So let's kick off some what we've been playing. And Harrison.
Yes.
What have you been up to?
Well, a game that I'm trying to finish up for review for Pure Nintendo, but work and all the such and dealing with other personal matters right now, and that game is Sushi Striker, The Way of Sushido for the Nintendo Switch. What can I say right now? I love it. I really, really like this game a lot. For those who don't know, Sushi Striker is basically kind of it's a bit of a strategy puzzle action type of game where it takes place in a world for right now where sushi has been outright banned. And now it's basically this commerce or whatever of it to kind of give you powerful abilities. I know it's kind of very strange for me when I'm talking about this, but it's very fascinating to me, whatever. And it's, for one thing, that kind of, it just ramps up its difficulty to me. And I really like its style and characters to it, which kind of gives it I don't know, for something I really enjoy. But for Sushi Striker right now, I mean, and you played the demo, right?
I have played the demo, yeah.
Yeah,
and I've played not a huge amount, but I have bought the game.
Didn't you joke
a little bit more about since then?
Didn't you joke at one point saying that I had played more on the demo as opposed to what I've played right now on the
game? From last week's episode, I had basically put 5 minutes into the actual game, but I'd put in because the demo was fairly sizable for a demo at least. I put a fair bit of time into the demo.
But I feel like this is just a bit of a starting to come to be a bit of an underrated gem on the Switch. And, it's available on the 3DS as well. And I've also heard people who kind of prefer the 3DS version, not because of look, but I think they prefer just using the stylus for the touchscreen to actually, rearrange the plates of sushi that basically that you get in these. It's on these conveyor belts, basically, like a few that go through, and it's between you and another fighter, whatever, basically, that are facing. So basically, every time when you match up sushi, whatever, it becomes your arsenal at the point wherever that you use to fling at your other opponent too. And of course they have health bars and whatnot. And I felt like some people could probably prefer the 3DS because it has a touch stylus. I mean, it's the use of a stylus helps out whereas you could use it on the Switch and it has a very better touch screen on there. I don't know. For me, I just really liked using it on that one because I just don't want to disrupt that screen so badly. But there is an assist mode on there to help you out for this one. And one thing I actually really enjoy about this is the anime cutscenes in this one. So, and as you could probably expect, they are cheerfully amusing. I'll give you that.
They're pretty out there. I do like how they've gone they really have gone out there in terms of fleshing out this world for this puzzle game. I think in any other instance, if this was an actual adventure game, it wouldn't be that impressive. But because it's the story for a puzzle game, to which my expectations are non-existent for the story of puzzle games. So it obviously surpasses all those expectations spectacularly. Just having these full cutscenes and an odd thing I noticed, where it's hard not to notice, but the fact that you choose a boy or a girl character at the beginning, and the boy or the girl is in these standard anime cutscenes, which aren't like done through 3D models or such. They're just regular animation. So they've obviously done like 2 versions of all these as well.
Yeah,
it's like
and
a crazy amount of effort for the fleshing out the story of this puzzle game.
Oh no, and in some certain situation they could have done, I don't know, the point where it's, with certain games like this, when you choose an avatar or whatever, I mean, it's usually a blank slate. Essentially, in some games, it just, you don't have to. It becomes easy to basically just go to a point like between, whether it's like the male or female, like female characters. Whereas this one, they put the effort of like, no, let's redo this one, replace basically this person on here, and to me, I kind of hope they're different to me, because that would give me another reason for great replay value.
Oh, definitely. So yeah, I mean, I was wondering because I've heard the sentiment that the game would be is either like they would think it would be better with the touchscreen, or they say it is better with the touchscreen. I've not tried both, but I'm actually fairly comfortable currently with just these standard button controls. I quite enjoy them. I don't feel I'm really missing by not playing it on the touchscreen. How do you feel on that front? Do you feel like it's been designed for a touchscreen and you're missing out, or?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm missing out. I mean, it's fairly simple to way to use on there. I mean, it's again, you have an assist mode on there if you need help with the ways of getting things that, like, aligning sushi and all these plates, whatever it is part of your arsenal. It just I can see why people on the 3DS could be a little bit better, because with that screen, I mean, for anything like whether that used touchscreen based games, like whether one I had with Pocket Card Jockey. I mean, that to me helped me out a little bit, and I feel like if they would have ported that over, I may have had a little bit difficulty kind of with that using. But then again, it's a far different experience. For this one, that was my main concern going in, thinking like it's going to be a little bad, but no, I was like, no, it works really well. And so I don't know. I haven't tried it in docked mode yet, so that's to me that's still up for debate.
That is. So how much of the game you've played? So like, how far have you got? Does it feel? Has it got repetitive yet? Oh, so okay.
No, I haven't gotten about an hour. Again, that's how bad I have been trying to get in this game, and I really need to. See, I feel like with games now, it seems like in 2018 and even little parts at the end of 2017, it's just I have such a bad habit getting my priorities in order, or whatever. I mean, it just seems like people ask me like, man, like how many? And I'm going off a tangent here. It's like everybody says like, man, Harry, you've been seeing like a lot of movies lately, but it's like, yeah, I'm going here for, all this. Whereas like, look how many games you did. I'm like, it's just that huge stack over there of games and stuff I haven't played and haven't bought. I'm like, it's just polar opposites. I mean, 2 things I like, movies and games and things like that. It's like, why haven't I been able to kind of just chip at this? But then again, whereas a movie, it's, whereas a game, it's the experience that what you experience yourself. Whereas a movie, you're experiencing somebody else's work and your interpretation of that. And here with this, I'm like, yeah, my time management for everything else has just gotten to a point where I'm like, you need to do this better, Harry. You really need to. And that's just me admitting to a point. And I can't imagine probably if I had like, a family life and things like that, I probably would be barely playing it again. and that's not to say like, oh wow, like you can't lack of responsibilities or something like that. It's just me saying like, I have bigger responsibilities other than playing my, my passions right now. So it's just, boy.
Fair enough. I mean, it's good to have them there to go to, sort of thing, in that sense. Like, if you do find yourself in a busy time or a stressful time, even if you don't get much time to do those things you enjoy, it's good to have them there. And so you can jump on them when you need to, sort of thing. And if you do get just an hour of some Japanese sushi puzzle game madness, then that might be what you need. But yes, like I've almost been doing the opposite recently. Maybe not super recently, but over the last year or so, I've like my playtime definitely went up, and like obviously that's good for the show. It's good for business. But I mean, these things they do change. They go up and down.
Yeah.
Depending on what what's going on in your life and all of that. So do you think that like it may be a tricky question, especially from how we're tackling this now, but do you think you're going to be playing much more of Sushi Striker? Is it has it got its hooks in you in that way?
No, it has me hooked right now because I need to finish it right now to actually review it, and it just my laziness has just put myself to a point where I'm like, yeah, I better concentrate more into this one. But something like that, it has me hooked. It has me interested.
Well, the other element I'm thinking here is because we both have Sushi Striker, and we're talking about like how much we're playing games, like commitment to games and such. So this would be an interesting one. But the game does have online multiplayer, I do believe.
I have not tried that out yet, but I've
I've
heard
not
mixed.
tried it either.
I've heard mixed things.
I've not heard much at all on that, so I was just interested in that front. So, what have you heard? What's mixed about it? Is it like it doesn't like? Is it laggy, or is it just not a very good balanced system? Or
well, I think the thing, whatever I saw from it, whatever was, it wouldn't say it's laggy and any things like that. It just you really don't get the same feel of it, and it never really kind of just it never struck me. That's what I say. It never really struck me pretty well to actually go like, you know what, this is actually pretty good. But it just I don't know. It's hard for me to do since I've only had a base portion on there. It's
Sure.
It feels, what's the word I'm thinking of? It feels undercooked.
Oh, okay.
That's where I'm saying. It's the potential's there, but it doesn't feel.
It maybe doesn't have the depth.
Yes.
Of a similar game which would keep you coming back for competitive multiplayer. Well, that's a shame. I'm going to check it out because when
please do check it out because I mean my opinion for this
yeah.
is just very different on there. I mean, again, I've barely touched it, and this is just me from seeing. Yeah.
And I feel like puzzle games also oddly can be quite a personal experience in the sense that like I feel like you show a puzzle game to one person and they'll just turn their nose up, and then you give it to another person. And you know they will just consume it. You know, day in day out, they'll be addicted to this same game. And like, there's an interesting mix for like you know these multiplayer puzzle games where you are head to head. So some of them, I guess, mainly like Tetris Attack or you know Puzzle League, that sort of game. That's one that I have got into. Like, it is really fun to face against someone who's you know equally skilled at you, and you can have a really like competitive game of blocks essentially. So you're going down to fundamentals. You just get it's just a mind game, one to the other, and a matter of it's also just testing your reflexes and your kind of your basic your gaming skills as well. But mostly you kind of feel like trying to work out more steps ahead than the other person. So I would like to I'm going to give Sushi Strike a go, see how it handles it from my perspective. That would be fun. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely what I'm going to do. Is there anything more you want to add to Sushi Striker?
Not really at the moment. Again, it just given the barrage of busyness in my real life right now, it's this is all it right now. I mean, I still want to pick up Mario Tennis Aces, which I believe you have picked up, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
All right, there's segue. That's my clever.
We did one. It's 144 episodes in, and we got a segue finally. So yes, I have been playing some Mario Tennis Aces, a game which also has some very nice multiplayer,
which I believe did get fixed up with a patch.
Well, I think from my experience is the reports were the demo had very bad.
Okay, that.
And the full game doesn't. I oddly I never played the demo. I was around a friend when he was playing the demo, so I kind of witnessed what the setup was, but I didn't actually get hands on. So Mario Tennis Aces is in short, it's a very good Mario Tennis game. So I
mean, knowing the bar was low from power to, what was it, Mario Tennis? There's
no power tool, but yeah, it's.
See, it's
going to play on me now.
Wait, this is how bad it was because I don't even remember the name.
That's true. I'll let you do the research. I'll carry on for now. Oh, you got Ultra Smash.
Ultra Smash. That's what it's called.
Is it.
Basically, the game that was a $60 title that felt like it was budgeted and made in about a month.
Exactly, yeah. And like this is so much more fleshed out than like I never played Ultra Smash, but we knew what it was, which was very bare bones. But apparently, the actual the fundamentals were solid. There just wasn't any meat to that bone. So this is what the Tennis Aces provides, which is meat. So you've got a full story mode. You have a range of different modes, online modes, single player modes. You can do single player tournaments, online tournaments. You can do simple rules, complex rules. There's a bunch, bunch of different characters to choose from. But yeah, like I think like the main draw is just it's a well-rounded package now. Like I don't think people are going in going, oh, yeah, I want to go in because it has a story mode, or I want to go in because it has like decent online. It's because it has all this stuff. So it's a good collection, but it is solid. One thing that I was kind of concerned about before jumping in was just I was impressed with the direct when they kind of announced all the different like features, all the different play styles, all the different moves you could do. But there was a point where I was getting overwhelmed. Like, oh, I'm thinking maybe this is a bit too complex for Mario Tennis now. They've just listed off like 6 different types of moves and counters. I'm not sure that's what I want in Mario Tennis, but it works really well. It's a really nice system, and it does add like this real nice depth to the game, kind of what we're talking about in terms of puzzle games. So the depth is optional in certain modes. So if you go, all right, I just want to go back to the basics. I just want to have like a fast rally going. I want to test our reflexes here. You can do that. You can play with, in quotes, simple rules. You can get that going. I think what I was surprised about, like I mentioned, I hadn't played, but I had seen the demo. And so how it handled teaching the new player all the new moves is very different to the full game. So in the demo, it would just kind of line you like through like a menu. It would be like, all right, this is the move you're doing next. This is how you do it. And you would have to do it like a few times, and it would move on to the next thing. But because there's a lot of different moves, this would go on for a while, and it wouldn't be the most exciting thing in the world. When you start off the actual game, Mario Tennis Aces, there's no like intro or anything. You go straight to the title screen, which at first I was a bit... sounds a bit odd, but I was a bit upset. Like there wasn't more like flair to it. It's like you went straight to title screen. Oh, I was hoping there's a bit of an intro there. It's like I'm hoping it's not doing the Ultra Smash thing here.
Yeah.
But as soon as I hit the you know press A to play sort of thing, it then jumps straight into the cutscene for the story mode without going to any sort of main menu. So I didn't hit or choose to play story mode. And then what the intro to the story mode is essentially the tutorial for how to play the game, but it is done in a way where it is the intro to the story. So there's cutscenes, it's Mario, so it's limited, but there's characterization. It's letting you know what's going on. But it's done so much better than kind of that tutorial for the demo. Like it was actually interesting. They teach you moves like it's one at a time, but they give you reasons for teaching them. Like you're doing a certain task, or you need to do a certain task, and then they show you the move which will let you do it. And then it makes sense because in your mind you go, all right, I know how actually applicable in an actual game of tennis down the road, but actually currently I'm just hitting this block in a very specific place or something. And it does a good job because by the end of it, I knew what all the moves were. But when I was watching at least someone play the demo, I already had like forgotten half the moves by the time he started his first match, and I think he had as well. But so the full game does a much better job there. The story mode is fun. It's not quite your full blown RPG mode. I think there's a difference there. You do level up after challenges, but it's all done like you have like a Mario World type overworld map. So you're going from point to point. There's some branching paths and such, but you're never just like running around in like you don't have free movement whether you're in a building or outside. You're always on this kind of set path going to like these different missions. But the missions are fun. Like obviously it's a bit obviously some are better than others, but some are quite interesting challenges. Like there's one where you're fighting, or I guess playing against, maybe you're fighting a set of piranha plants who spit fireballs at you. And the mission is to defeat a certain amount of them, and they'll respawn when you do. And it's quite clever because you only have a certain amount of time to do it. And the only real way to do the mission is to use your the special move where you kind of go into that free motion aiming gyroscope mode. So you have to build
that I did not get a chance to try out in
On the
out
demo.
at E3. Unfortunately, we tried to do not the assist mode, but the one where it's like using the Joy-Cons, like the motion controls. That was one we tried to get asked to do, but they wouldn't allow us to do it, which was disappointing.
Fair enough. Yeah, but like this mode encourages it. It doesn't like make you do it, but it's really the only way to do it. But it makes sense. Like you're gaining energy by like deflecting these shots, and then you use that energy to pull off the move, and then you can aim at which piranha plant that you want to destroy, and it works. You hit it, it gets destroyed. You get your point. It's a very simple, but it's a satisfying system. But it teaches you that. So you'll be using that later on in online games. You go, all right, I need to get the ball in that corner. I instinctively know what I'm doing here. And also like how much energy that's going to use, the fact that I need to build up the energy to do that first. So the game does do a good job of teaching you like a lot of surprisingly complex moves. And so the online as well, from what I've played so far, I've probably played about a dozen or so matches. It works really well. I had one or two matches, which the connection was a bit flaky, but I also had very strange internet things happen outside of Mario Tennis of the same evening. So I'm not entirely sure that was Mario Tennis's fault. But for transparency, I had some flaky matches. But no, the online's fun. It's fast, which is what I like out of Mario Tennis. It's very frantic. It's shorter than traditional matches as well. It's like best of 3 points usually, opposed to like your traditional score set. And like that keeps the pace going. I can see why some people wouldn't like it. But personally, I think it's pretty cool because you just get to jump into more matches. And I kind of prefer like the more Splatoon-esque short session games, moving on to the next, than just being in a longer term game, a lot of back and forth. Especially when it's like when you do get evenly matched and like a game seemingly can just go on forever when you get one person getting an advantage and then the other and the other and then you just get a single point out of it. But no, I really do like Mario Tennis Aces so far. If what I've said so far.
Well, it sounds like it's quite the improvement over the last game, so that's good. So,
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like that's the problem. Like the weird thing is, I feel this uses like a lot of Ultra Smash. Like I reckon it's using the same engine, a lot of the same, just other stuff, but they've just built a better game around it. And that's what you need essentially. Yeah, like it's all well and good having like a good part of a game, but you really do want that well-rounded package. Like if you got one good thing, but the everything else is lackluster, it's just going to drag that down. But no, like Tennis Aces, it's surprisingly fun, especially. Like, I can definitely recommend it to just people who have enjoyed Mario Tennis in the past, even though this game plays quite differently. It kind of, I think it like stirs up those same feelings, even though you're doing like very different things. Like, because I'd never be managing like different moves and energy bars and like being worried about my racket breaking and all these other things previously. But I am now. And I think that's what keeps it fun. Like, I think if they had just provided the same game, it would be a bit I think it would just fall below expectations. Like even if they like it felt exactly the same as it did at the time, I think we've just moved on so far now that if it wasn't like it weirdly kind of like the Ultra Smash situation, if it wasn't sold at like a discounted price, people would turn their nose up at it, going up, we're not getting enough game for our money here. So yeah, I like those. I like the complexity there, and I do like that they have fleshed out that story mode. I'm not sure how long it is yet, but from what I've heard
it's bonkers.
What in terms of the size?
Bonkers in terms of story. I mean, knowing everything's bonkers in the Mario universe, but I'm saying like this one's like wild.
Yeah, it starts off like within the first like minute. So spoilers for people who are sensitive about the first minute of a Mario Tennis story game. So Wario and Waluigi have teamed up and they have found this like phantom tennis racket, and together they have like aspirations to take over the world, and then Luigi gets dragged in somehow. And so it is bonkers, yes, to answer your question.
That's what I need to know. But no,
that's
I
what
hope
you need to know.
I hope to pick this one up into when I find the time and things like this. But it's good to see that this is a welcome improvement over what was. Is saying the last one a trash fire too much of a hate on it, or was it just a?
It's a tricky one, really. Like, the reception of it was definitely that. Like,
how about something that was just a half measure? I'll give you that. It was a half measure.
Yeah, I think half measure's fair. Half measure, full price.
pretty
Ultra
well.
Smash. All right, but yeah, the last thing I know is like it is good to have like a Mario Tennis game which has solid both local and online multiplayer. Even if you put the story mode aside, it's solid on both those fronts, which is cool because I'll be using both of those options, sort of thing. I think this will be just like it's added now into the rotation of like solid multiplayer games, which is cool because there's a lot of great ones on the Switch already. It's a great system for that.
Yeah.
So, should we jump in?
Yeah. Anything else you got?
I do. I was going to skip a game. That was going to be rude. I do have another game because it's on the notes. Luminous Remastered.
I want to add though, I know of Luminous. I played briefly, but I never owned one. I never owned Luminous or any form of that. And so please do just enlighten me.
Yeah, because oddly, it's the same story for myself. It's a game like I'm not sure quite how, but I feel it's very well known despite how many people have actually played it. And so it launched as a PSP game, I believe. It definitely was on the PSP. And it's had a few other revisions since. But this is the first time it's on a Nintendo system, at least I believe. It's definitely the first time it's been on the Switch, that much I'm sure of. And so how you play Lumina. So again, it's a puzzle game. It's a little bit like Tetris. It's a little bit like Pugh or Puzzle League or something like that. And so you have falling blocks in formations of 4. They're always squares which are falling down. And so what makes this different is that you always have there's 2 colors of blocks. And so you've got these 4 blocks which are falling down, and out of those 4, they'll be made up of those 2 colors in any sort of formation. And the goal is to make squares of the same color. The trick here, because like in Tetris, the way you make lines is you just, or Puyo Pose, when you match things, it's just by matching them. You drop the things next to each other, and if they meet the conditions, the blocks disappear.
Okay.
But in Luminous, it's slightly different because when you make the square, nothing happens straight away. But there's always a bar making its way across the screen from left to right. And it's in time with the music. And when the bar hits the individual blocks, if they're making squares, at that point, they will disappear and make points and combos. And so you can drop blocks in a way that when the bar goes across the screen, it actually, matches up making lots of squares or a big square as such. And it's not actually tied up to when blocks fall down. So you've got full control over dropping the blocks. It's not like Tetris where it increases in speed, and if you don't match things quick enough, you're just going to end up filling the screen with blocks. So you can be careful and deliberate and take your time, but obviously you are encouraged to play to the rhythm of the music, as it were, because that's how you're going to score those points. If you're getting those blocks in before the beat goes across, that's how you're going to get the most points. And it is a game which definitely it leans on its visuals, it leans on its audio design as well, and it does mesh those things together really nicely. It is a very striking looking and sounding game. And it's especially it just works well together. It may sound a little odd to say, but I don't feel like most games really pair those things up quite as well as this. And so it's fairly unique in that sense. Even though I'm describing a falling block puzzle game, it surprised me that it did feel fairly original in this day and age. And so it's really fun. I've not played a huge amount of this yet. To be fair, I only downloaded it last night. But it is fun. I've not played any multiplayer yet. I've no idea what the multiplayer situation is yet. I don't even know if it has it. I hope it does. But it's a fun game. It's reasonably priced. At least over here, it was under £15, and so I assume it's about $15. Obviously, check on your local eShops. And the other interesting thing to note is, and this might be more of a factor of how much I've bought on the eShop, but I actually got this game just using gold coins.
Oh, so you use your mind
worrying. I was like, oh, I've not used them in a while. I wonder what sort of discount I would get, and it just went to 0. I was like, oh dear.
By the way, it is $15. By the way, it is $15 for everybody who's wondering. So
okay.
Yes.
That's good. Yeah, so that's Lumines. So yeah, I'm going to play much more. And I was playing on the TV, but I imagine it's going to be like it was also originally that PSP release. I imagine it's going to be a pretty fun, like portable game. Like if you've just got like a few minutes, and ideally some headphones.
Yes.
Or you can crank the speaker up. Then this would be a fun way to spend it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Check out Lumines if you like puzzle games and potentially rhythm games. So yeah, and so not skipping any more games, let's jump into some Nintendo news. And we've got a few items here.
Just a few, you know.
Free items. We're going to be transparent here today.
Yes.
First thing on the docket, we've got an update for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch. It's been a little while, but we've got some new Mario Kart stuff. They've added Labo support.
Now this is I find this very intriguing to anything like this. I mean, knowing to actually, you know, putting the things that you've done with the Labo support, whatever, and things that you constructed and applying that to, you know, current games and things like that, just to kind of give an added new depth to things like this. And it gives me an attention to be like, you know what, I want to try out Mario Kart with this ability. You know, it's like, it's the same thing when I was playing Mario Kart Wii, and you know what, I'd be using like, what was it, like the using you basically using the Wiimote and nunchuck like setup, whatever. I would use like the little dongle that was the little wheel and just test that out. So with this one right here, it's like if I had Labo stuff, whatever, but like, you know what, I want to give this a shot. And I'm assuming this is the they're using the Toy-Con motorbike.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, and that was part of the variety kit. So
yeah, so you steer it by tilting, which is standard to be fair in Mario Kart. You can do that usually. But what makes it different is obviously not just that you're holding the cardboard motorbike handles, but when you rev it with your right hand, that accelerates. And I assume, actually, I'm not sure which is which, but the left one also, I assume that brakes, or maybe it does items or something. But yeah, you can control it by twisting the handlebars as well as steering it as well. Yeah, you can see how good my motorbike lingo is.
No, like I'm terrible riding a motorbike, but yes.
I've not built a motorbike yet. I mean, I own the variety kit, so I should probably build this and then
build that and get back to us. Tell us how it is, you know. And I did see that the update did show on the title screen Mario basically with the Labo handle, like the Labo motorbike handlebars, whatever.
Yeah.
On there, and one tweet that was made the rounds for a while was let me find it real quick right now, but it had to release basically just talking about that title screen. And if you can give me just one moment, it basically showed the title screen with, you know, Mario holding the Labo handlebars, and the tweet was, imagine going back to the NX rumor days and just posting this screenshot with no further context.
Yeah, that I don't think many people would believe that.
Oh no. They would think it's just too absurd to be like that. But also for something like this, I kind of would like to see other games in Nintendo's catalog implement this, because that would give a greater use just to try out, you know, to go out and buy Labo. And I've heard people joke about how for Daemon Ex Machina, like, hey, when that comes out, get it Labo support so I can use the giant robot kit or something like that. I mean, that would be amazing. That would be a really nice little thing to actually just immerse yourself.
That could make me buy that robot kit if there was actually a decent mech game which used it, opposed to be fair, Project Giant Robot. Yeah, it does look.
It does look like in the unfinished stages, but yeah. But then again, it's a Labo project, whatever. So yeah,
that's true. But I guess on that note, like part of his story, Apparently, other software or other games will be receiving updates for Labo compatibility in the future, according to a Nintendo press statement. So the same statement which this was announced in, they are giving hints that there are going to be more of these coming soon for other different games. Which I imagine there will be items in the variety kit which we utilize and everything. Maybe we'll get like the fishing rod for future Animal Crossing or something like that,
or even the piano for, I don't know,
also Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing, that too.
They're all for Animal Crossing now. Apart from the motorbike, that's Mario Kart.
Oh, did you actually see the speaking of Labo, did you see how Nintendo they did a Labo contest for like for creators, and they're giving away a cardboard themed Switch?
I think I saw something about it in my Twitter feed, and that's about it. In all honesty,
it actually looks really cool. Like if you look in the side of the Joy-Cons, it actually has like the little details of what you'd see, like the innards of what a cardboard is. And I thought those are just really, really kind of cool bits of details. But also I look at that and I'm like, Nintendo, come out with more of those, you know. But also some would joke about like how it's very interesting to win another Switch. You have to, have a Switch.
Yes.
And with that, I don't know. But still, I just like that. I'm like, oh, that's kind of a cool thing they're giving away. Huh.
Oh, definitely. No, it's good that they're continuing to at least attempt to rally up some support behind Labo. Because it seems like, and it might just be wrong audience here, but I feel that there's not as much kind of like community movement in like the Labo garage scene as I was expecting, in terms of like people coming out with the crazy designs and like with the like essentially the blueprints of how to do it yourself. Like, all right, print this out and then get some cardboard and cut around it and like do all these steps, and then you can build your own weird robot thing. Like obviously there are things like that coming out, but I thought it would have blown up more. I thought it was going to get to like some Wii Sports levels at one point.
Are you talking about Labo?
It's clearly not. Yeah, just Labo in general. I thought it's not massive.
Well, it's not there, but I mean, I think it's successful. It didn't bomb, I believe.
Oh no, I agree. I'm not saying it bombed, but for whatever reason, I thought this was going to do like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw it, like, oh, this is so weird. They must have like another Wii Sports in their hand, because it's the sort of thing everyone looks at first, going, "Oh, it's crazy Nintendo, what are you doing?" And then like they're laughing to the bank at the end of it.
Oh yeah, I mean, no. Like I said, Nintendo's the only company that I feel like could get away with something like this, and to me, more power to them. When they first announced Labo, I get that people are like, it's not for me, but to people to kind of understand that, yeah, this is for, obviously for kids, but those kids at heart like me that really like to construct and build things and just use their imagination. And yeah, I don't know.
It serves that purpose well, to be fair.
That was one thing I was kind of surprised at E3 they didn't show off, but then it's like, I feel like that would probably be something that Nintendo's Twitter account in North America, like in America, would just like shadow drop, like, oh yeah, here's another kit for Labo or something like that. But they may be just looking into the sales data of like that first few months and figuring out, or looking at these creators programs and figuring out like, what are to go next with this. So
yeah, because they have kept those things separate so far. Like, because all of the announcements from Labo, like they've not come from like Nintendo Directs. Mm-hmm. They've been their own things.
Yeah, like
Nintendo said, oh, we've got something to show. It's not like, oh, we've got a Nintendo Direct imminent, and then like a video just comes out directly on the Nintendo's YouTube channel about Nintendo Labo without any sort of direct branding or any other, traditional stuff that we expect. So they are deliberately keeping this separate. So I would kind of agree, for good reason. I think it's good not to mesh this in too much with like their flagship franchises. Don't get me wrong, like I really like Labo, but yeah, it's good that they kind of, in a weird way, kind of know its place. Like, all right, we don't think this is The Legend of Zelda. We know this is it's completely own thing, and we're going to treat it like that.
Yeah, it's basically, this is what we're doing. It's a side thing. Just deal with it. It's fine. But whatever. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We have some news on Pocket Rumble, which I've not heard about in a little while, but it now has a release date, which is just around the corner, July 5th.
Yeah. We first heard about this game, and I want to say the first Nintendo Switch Indie Direct that they did back in mid
I think you're
2017.
right. Yeah.
I believe that's when we did it. And this is it's basically a tribute to like I think what was it, like those Neo Geo Pocket Color games.
Yes. So yeah, it's a fighting game in the Neo Geo Pocket style. And so there's been a lot of like Neo Geo, type fighter games, but not so many of the Pocket style, of recent, definitely. So it is a new. It's taking a graphic style which hasn't been used very much, and I guess a gameplay style as well. And
I did not know the people behind this was a 2-man team.
It is.
Know that. Did not know that.
Yeah, called Cardboard Robot Games. So that feels like they could be directly from the Labo team.
I was going to say, Cardboard was like, do you have any Labo projects you want to do? I mean,
any Labo compatibility by the Cardboard Robot Games guys. Which one would they pick? It's impossible to know what their favorite would be. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Is this one you've got your eyes on, or?
Yeah, this was one I have on there, and I know we didn't talk about it last week, but I did find out that Bomb Chicken does have a release for July, so that, and of course this one I have my eyes on for a little bit just to, see basically how this goes. Whenever I don't know, the thing that kind of drew me for this one was that art style that they have for this one, very simplistic type of fighter, and
I think I will play it like exclusively portably.
I think so too. I think that works. I think so. That works probably best for it. But yeah, so July 5th is when it's coming out, and that's okay. So both North America and Europe. So gotcha.
That's correct. Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah. And our final piece of news for today's show is there are 3 Kirby soundtracks which have released digitally. We've got the Planet Robot. Let's start that one again. The
Robobot.
The 25th anniversary concert and the memorial arrangements on iTunes, Spotify, and other services. You can hit them up and get some official Kirby tunes.
I want Nintendo to do this more often with their soundtracks. I like how this is starting. I believe the special edition, like what was it, like the Breath of the Wild soundtrack that they released physically in Japan, I think it's coming here digitally.
Okay.
In North America.
The Pokemon Company are now doing a bunch of the Pokemon games.
That
might be just the Pokemon Company, though, opposed to a more like unified front from Nintendo that they're going to be releasing with soundtracks. But this is a good, this is a good sign in that sense. So yeah, it would be nice if you could just like expect them to come. And like, so you could just choose what you want, sort of thing. And so it's not a matter of like we're being treated with these free Kirby soundtracks. It's like, I fancy listening to the music from this game. Let's just set up an official service and let's just do it properly. That would be nice.
There's an audience. No, there's definitely an audience for people who want to actually, are crying for Nintendo to actually do this type of thing. I mean, I know several few Nintendo branded soundtracks. I mean, actually, I want to check out the Kirby 25th Anniversary Orchestra concert. That sounds to me very like something that would just translate well with an orchestra, like especially in a live environment like that. But the ones I have are like Metroid Prime and Metroid Prime 2 Echoes for soundtrack, and of course I have the Zelda 25th Anniversary 5 or 6 piece collection that they came with Skyward Sword, and then I have the Smash selection, the 2-disc set for Smash for Wii U and 3DS that they gave out for people who bought both versions, and that was with Club Nintendo. No, I would really, really like to see more of that. Is there, off the top of your head, what's one soundtrack from Nintendo's any Nintendo game, like specifically, that you would like to see finally released on one of these platforms and be like, I want to own that?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. I think. Like, it's a relatively new one, but the first thing which jumps to my mind nowadays is Splatoon.
Yes.
Because, especially now, it's actually got quite a big and ranged soundtrack. They keep adding new tracks, like, in new genres, and, like, by new, like fictional bands. So they do, like, deliberately sound very different to each other. So, yeah, like, just having a nice full collection of that would be very cool. especially with all the even like the Octo expansion stuff. That's got loads of bunch of new music in there as well. So yeah, it'd be nice to have it all in one place because it's all like it's weird, but it's good weird.
It's the best type of weird, and and anytime when I'm at the night when I'm trying to read or something like that, or if I just want to think, I'll put on some of the Splatoon. Like, I mean, I kind of like Splatoon 1's soundtrack more, but there's still some standout stuff from 2 that I really, really, really like. And I'm actually
Octo expansion music as well. That
actually,
goes places too.
I was looking up for the Breath of the Wild soundtrack, and I believe it is on iTunes. If this, nope, that's just a fan made one. Sorry. False alarm. I know, I got myself up to it, whatever. I was thinking like, no, the one I was looking at, it was the original soundtrack was, it has 5 CDs and 211 tracks right here. And it's just, and I think, I want to say Holly pre-ordered it. A good friend of the show, Holly Filmuth. I think she pre-ordered it as well. I mean, she gets all that stuff from, especially Splatoon soundtracks from like all these, these import stores. It was released on the 25th, first edition, all the DLC, first packaging. I'm just trying to find if there's a thing. Yep. It's, there's no, digital release or anything like that. But no, I mean, if I had to pick one that I would want to see on here, oh boy. I know they promised it, that they were going to release a CD of this, but I want a full arrangement of what they did for the Zelda Symphony of the Goddess. Is it Goddess or Goddesses?
I think it's Symphony of the Goddess.
Goddess, okay.
Actually, yeah. Goddesses would make sense.
No, and I attended the show, and I feel I should know better, but every time I blank on that. But no, I'd really like a good collection of that. Not the teaser that we got from like the 5 or 6 track that I got from like the
Skyward Sword,
Skyward Sword thing. Yeah. I would really like to see something like that. Another one I really, really enjoy. Splatoon, like the Splatoon music up there is high for me, but would ARMS qualify, or is it just basically that opening theme that's really the only thing I really likes?
I'm surprised someone else other than me has brought ARMS to the table. I feel honored. It kind of works. It does. It you don't get a huge amount of like. I wouldn't listen to the soundtrack in order. But it would be good to have to listen to like if I'm in the mood for a certain character's theme tune. The problem with ARMS is it uses that same theme pretty much throughout most things. Like, it's a good theme. Like that credits version, a bunch of the versions of it are just fantastic pieces.
Obviously,
so yeah, I would like to have that hand as well.
I will add one more though, and that one, and these have had physical releases, but they're also in Japan. Both Mario Galaxy 1 and 2.
Yep, both. Yeah, like with the orchestrated soundtrack, that just makes perfect sense.
No, one thing I actually was looking into, I mean, I a lot of my times, I mean, I own some Metroid music, whatever, but I always go down a big rabbit hole with Metroid music, just because I just like different arrangements and such, whatever. And one that I really liked is, I think it's like not house music, but trap music or something like that, whatever. And one guy, I forgot the name, I had to find it. It's one rapper, like a very small like indie rapper. He took the Lower Brinstar theme, probably one of the better segments, probably like, the darker things that I like about it, whatever, and just like looped over the music from that into a rap, whatever. And I listened to it, I'm like, this is like really, really good. I have to find it though. I mean, it's explicit, but still, it's like I was like, this is good. This is like this is stuff I dig. And if I was at a show and like randomly he would have dropped that theme or something like that, I would have just gone nutso. I'd be like, yeah. It's like, what's your deal? It's like, this is my jam.
So you almost feel like, all right, let's, because we said it was a short show, although it's turned to almost regular length at this point already. But let's ask a final question here. Like, on the terms of like soundtracks is one thing, but like Nintendo has dabbled in like live performances, like you mentioned, the Symphony of the Goddesses. They also have like Splatoon, like live
with
events.
the laser, like, or no, it's like the holograms of like
exactly. They have the holograms of I guess Poa Marina now.
And Kelly Marie.
In Kelly Marie originally, and all 4, I guess, also now. And they'll have an actual band, obviously, back there. And like I'm guessing they give out the glow sticks because everyone has glow sticks.
Like I said, yes, everybody around the area just happens to have a spare glow stick.
Well, exactly, because like or at least I've seen some videos of them like on YouTube, for example, and like everyone's waving them, so they must just give them out as they people are coming. It must be compulsory. But so if you could see a live performance of any sort of like game series, what would you choose for for that event to be created around? It doesn't have to exist yet.
Metroid, but I know that wouldn't be the most.
Symphony.
Yeah, I know that wouldn't be the most financially successful because it doesn't carry the same.
Just for you for enjoyment. It's no fiscal responsibilities.
My first choice is Metroid, but I know this would be my cop out answer. Would be like, you know what, Nintendo, just do an orchestra of all your franchises. Like take one or two each ones.
Ooh, or is this just the Smash?
That basically, yeah, you know what? It's just the Smash. It's just the Smash like Symphony. That's what I'm saying.
Smash Symphony, yeah. That is well. You said Metroid first, so they're two good choices there.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess for me, I think it's an interesting one because I think like Fire Emblem works on like a Zelda-esque way where they can match it well with all the different games throughout the series and the characters and the moments. And there's some real good, like, strong pieces in that series. So that would work. I wouldn't like it would be one I could get like fairly hyped towards, but it wouldn't. I'm not sure it'd be top of my list still. The Xenoblade series, like as a whole.
Well, some selections from X, because there are some on there which essentially I both love and hate because there are definitely some sound choices to me. I'm just like, you just try to throw the whole the kitchen sink at this, and it's like, this does not fit well from here. I don't know, but
fair enough.
Xenoblade's good. No, Xenoblade's a good choice for there. I thought you were going to go with like maybe Mario, for instance, like because that has a plethora of music that you can use to stretch out a very long concert series.
Oh, of course it does. Like, I mean, that would also be great. Like, it would also be fairly classic, in a sense, like almost like a Mickey Mouse style. Like, I reckon they could do it in a way where it's a classy affair, like this Mario tribute piece. So that could be cool, especially like if they have some like Odyssey-esque throwbacks to like classic designs, like obviously like Jump Up Superstar, and you've got Mario doing the Donkey Kong.
What about what you're forgetting? You're forgetting the main thing that is going to be basically put in there, whether it's opening or closing, and that's do the Mario.
Of course, yeah, that would be the closer, I feel. Yeah, people know then that it's time to leave.
At that point, this will clear the room out.
Exactly, that's what you end on. And I think that's what we're going to end on as well.
I think so. Yes, we end basically on our little slight touch on. Well, I didn't at least say the
playing the music for the outro. Do you reckon, Harrison?
Say what?
You reckon we can get away with playing the music on the outro for the audio only version?
Are you talking about do the Mario?
Who's going to stop us?
I don't know who is going to stop. Like
no one's going to stop us, Harrison.
Well, does Dick Entertainment still exist? Hang on, let me find.
Who's going to tell them?
Well, nobody if they don't exist.
Exactly.
Because nope, they don't exist. So I think we're good.
All right. So check out the audio only version if you're not already. If you are, I hope the delightful tunes are already pleasuring your eardrums. Anyway, that is going to close the show for today. Before we do, as usual, if you do enjoy the show, please do check out Patreon, patreon.com/Nintendo Voice. Or if you're audio only listener, we do have the video. It doesn't have do the Mario on, or else it'll get pulled down immediately, I imagine, for some reason. I imagine Nintendo does own that. But you can check out the audio version whenever you prefer. But as we do at the end of an episode, let's go around the two of us. I don't think we even mentioned why Colin's not on the show at the beginning.
Yeah, Colin's traveling right now, or he was not sure he was going to make it back in time.
Yeah, unfortunately, like it was kind of the theme of the intro, at least in terms of poor scheduling. Well, not poor scheduling, in terms of just the sometimes it can be difficult to get 3 people on the internet of different locations together. Sometimes not, but sometimes it is. Anyway, Harrison, how can the fine folks of the internet get hold of you? And is there anything in the gaming world else you've been up to that you would like them to know of?
Well, okay. You can reach me on Twitter at @hmilfeld. But if you want to read any of my stuff, I do check out my friends. We do over at purenintendo.com. We're now putting together our E3 issue at the moment. And I will say writing out my hands-on impressions was a little bit more of a chore than I thought it was going to be. And so hopefully you can all read up on that stuff in the digital issue.
That's cool. So E3 is hard work, is it?
Yeah, it is indeed hard work. So, yeah, that's all.
Bringing the big headlines here.
Pretty much.
E3, not a walk in the park if you're a member of the press. For me, you can get hold of me on Twitter or Instagram or some other services. Take your pick. Choose a run at random. The name you need is Luvsion. Luvsion. If it's free, do not take it. Be nice. And I don't necessarily have anything else specifically. So check out Nintendo Voice stuff. Why not? If you use iTunes, maybe you still use iTunes. Maybe you haven't given us a review. Maybe chuck us a review. Maybe chuck us on YouTube. Do that stuff. It's the end of a YouTube podcast, YouTube video. So I need to say the like and subscribe and all that wonderful goodness, which everyone really doesn't like, but we do it anyway because that's what we do. Anyway, that's our show for this week. So enjoy the Mario, and this has been Nintendo Voice.
Get hooked on the plumbers.